in Agile, we need to break down stories vertically so that at the end of every sprint, we have a working code which delivers a minimum user functionality. The minimum user functionality may not be sufficient to warrant an external release, but we need to slice stories such that with every sprint, we keep building up the functionality till it reaches the minimum marketable feature, where we can go for a GA. To help you understand on how we can split the PBIs vertically, let us take an example of development of a Scrum management tool, where the users should be able to create the PBIs and track them through a Kanban board. In the traditional method of development, in the requirements phase, one would write a detailed SRS, define GUI for each page, determine fields and data types, etc. Typically, the requirements would be written to cater to multiple teams such as database designer, GUI specialist, software developer, etc., who can then work independently until the big bang integration. On the other hand, when we write PBIs, we will be writing it such that to deliver a PBI, we would need to implement a portion of database, business logic, GUI, etc. So how do we slice the PBIs vertically? Firstly, think of the different workflows you will need and write multiple PBIs such that they will be able to become from partially functional to fully functional across the sprints. For example, for the Scrum development, you may start with A. Develop module for PBI creation, B. Develop module for task creation under PBIs, C. Develop module for technical dev creation, etc. Do note, these by themselves are high level and will need further refinement. In the first sprint, you may pick up a few of the further refined PBIs of point A for implementation. Another way is to think of the business rules and slice your PBIs along them such that you implement a subset initially and keep adding them in eventual sprints. For example, business rules may be A. PBI should go through the following phases of open, in progress, invalidation, validated, and closed or reject. B. A PBI should be closed only by the PO. C. If a PBI is in a dormant state for more than 3 weeks, an alert should be sent to the assignee and PO, etc. Probably for this project, the PO and team may decide to start with point A and work on point B, that is, PBIs to be closed only by PO in a later sprint, as that may need additional development in user management module. So in their sprint output, their tool can be used to create PBIs which can be moved across phases. However, the users have to ensure discipline that only the PO would close the PBI. Thus, we have a working tool but which may not have all the features that is required for a market release. Another approach is to identify different roles and the use cases for these roles to help slice the PBIs. Some of the use cases you may immediately implement, while some would be implemented in later sprints. For example, the roles using the Scrum tool could be PO, Scrum Master, Team, Customer Acceptance Test Engineer, Observer, etc. Each of them may operate the tool in different ways, have different CRUD operations, which will give you hints on deriving PBIs. The next approach can be to identify PBIs based on positive and negative flows. That is, one is a happy flow where everything happens as expected. That is, a PBI is created by the PO, the PBI is allocated to a sprint with assignees, the team works on them, and PO closes them. In the negative flow, we identify unexpected scenarios. Say the PO created a PBI and later, for whatever organizational reasons, he becomes the Scrum Master and he now shouldn't have access to create new PBIs or close the existing PBIs. Therefore, the PO and team can split the PBIs as per the positive and negative flows and prioritize the sequence of development. Another way is by breaking up the functional and non-functional requirements such that the initial sprints accommodate minimum functional and non-functional requirements, and in the later sprints they support full functionality. For example, to track the sprint progress, we may need multiple reports. A. Burn down based on velocity. B. Burn up based on effort. C. Number of concurrent users to be supported, etc. The PO and team may decide on immediately implementing just point A and currently support only limited concurrent users. A different approach is to slice based on data types. That is, if the PBI does the same thing with different kinds of data, the PBI can be sliced such that it focuses on manipulating one kind of data initially and then enhance the functionality to other data types. Lastly, PBI can be sliced based on dependencies, those with external dependencies and those with no or only internal dependencies. You cannot have just one method to slice the PBIs. Rather, you will need to apply multiple combinations to effectively derive small vertically sliced PBIs. If you found this video informative, do like it and share it. And do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.